Hello everybody, and welcome into the tiny kitchen for this dealing with the onion harvest kind of video. Possibly videos, we'll see how long this takes. First thing I'm going to do, I guess, is I've got to clean off all these onions. They still got dirt and stuff in them from the soil. Then, I don't know, I'm thinking some dehydrating, some pickling. What else can you do with an onion harvest? I don't know, I'll think about it while I wash and cut. Nice looking bunch of onions that I've got here though, so I don't know. Cut the greens off first, I guess, from a lot of these. Just put them in the other sink for now. Dump these guys in there. Quite a few of these nicer ones are going to get dried up. I'm going to try and sort through and find the smallest pearl onions, I guess they're called. I guess this little guy might qualify. And those are the ones I'm going to be doing some pickling with. And then I guess a few fresh onions to use along the way. Sure never hurt anything. Oh, see, now that should be a nice one for pickling. That's not so bad at all. That being said, I've never pickled onions before. But Shocks was sure excited when I mentioned it, so we shall see how that goes. I'm going to cut through the rest of these and I'll get back to you. Well, that is a whole lot of onions and onion greens. That'd almost make me wish I had some baked potatoes kicking around. I'm going to go dispose of this in the compost, I guess. And we'll get to washing and sorting some onions. Alright, so as I go through this, I'm just going to put the little ones in here for pickling a little bit later, and the larger ones in here to get sliced up for the dehydrator. Alright. These things are messy. Have no idea. Someone once told me I'm supposed to let these things like dry in the sun for a few days or something first. I don't know. Well, here we sit after cleaning, looking much nicer. Time to get into the slicing and the crying, I guess. Fill up the dehydrator and we'll be good to go on that. So, starting to layer these out on the top of the dehydrator. Be curious to see just how many racks I get. We'll take a look at that once I'm ready to fire it up. Alright, well that worked out to 2 of the trays of the red onions. We'll see how those whites cut up next. Alright, well that'll sure get the tear ducts going. They say the trick is to not get so emotionally attached, but you know, I grew these things from sets myself. They grow up so fast. Alright, I'm going to fire this up and go get some pickling materials. It is worth mentioning that I've only got this thing at about 120 Fahrenheit or 50 Celsius, because I don't want to cook the onions, I just want to dry them. Day 2, they didn't completely dry. Here we are, day 3, they are looking much closer to dry, and smelling absolutely fantastic. However, I have bad news on the pickled onions. Apparently, don't have the recipe I thought I did, so I'm going to have to go check out allrecipes.com. However, we are definitely good to go on the pickled peppers. Alright, so here we are basically 3 days later. These are definitely done. Took a long time because I did it on a fairly low temperature, but I wanted to maintain the flavor, right? So there's the white ones. Then here we have the sweet red onions, looking fantastic. And then I've got a couple of mason jars I'm going to store those in, and we're good to go. Alright, well how wonderful is that? Excellent. Now, as for the pickled onions, turns out we're enjoying these far too much as just handy to have around and on the counter, ready to go. So there will be no pickling of these particular onions. We did think about trying them in a brine before we dehydrate them, but, you know, in light of certain circumstances, I think we're good to go on dried onions for a while. Alright everybody, thank you for watching and have yourselves a fantastic day.